The first sound Akaba Rin heard was the familiar crackle of a cheap alarm clock, buzzing angrily on the side table. He groaned, burying his face deeper into the pillow. 5 more minutes, he muttered, though he already knew 5 minutes was a lie he told himself every morning. His phone screen flickered when he picked it up, another reminder that he really needed to replace the second-hand unit. 5:12 a.m. South Caloocan was already stirring. Through the thin walls of their apartment, Rin could hear the muffled voices of neighbors preparing for work. Somewhere outside, the sputtering of a tricycle engine echoed. The faint scent of garlic being fried for silog breakfasts wafted through the air. This was his life, cramped, noisy, but alive. And honestly, Rin didn't ask for more. He dragged himself out of bed. At 5:01, with a perpetually messy mop of black hair and a tired face that still made cashiers mistake him for a college student, Rin blended easily into the Manila crowd. Just another office worker, swallowed by the city's endless chaos. The only thing unusual about him was the plain silver ring on his right hand. A family heirloom, or so he thought. It had been his grandfather's, then his father's, and eventually passed down to him. He didn't even like wearing jewelry, but this one felt different. Too snug to remove, yet never uncomfortable. He never gave it much thought. Until recently. Lately, he'd discovered something strange. When he focused on the ring, really focused, it responded. A faint hum, almost like a heartbeat, pulsed through it. And sometimes, things disappeared into it. Like last week, when he was holding his umbrella in one hand while trying to open the gate. The umbrella slipped and vanished. It didn't hit the ground. It didn't bounce away. It simply blinked out of existence. Rin panicked, only for the umbrella to reappear later when he concentrated on the ring again. A storage ring. A concept straight out of the Chinese web novels he used to read during lunch breaks. Ridiculous, unreal, and yet there it was. He hadn't told anyone. Who would believe him? So he kept it a secret. His own little pocket universe. Not that he had anything valuable to store besides spare shirts and cheap ballpens. He shook the thought off as he shuffled to the bathroom. Normal day. Normal life. No need to overthink. By 6:15 a.m., Rin was out on the street, dressed in a pale blue polo shirt and black slacks, his standard office attire. His mother had packed him a simple breakfast, tapsilog sealed in a plastic container, though she teased him about always looking half asleep. "Ma, I'll be home late again," he said as he slipped on his worn leather shoes. "Always overtime," his mother sighed. "Don't forget to eat." Rin nodded. He wasn't much of a talker. The streets of South Caloocan buzzed with morning energy. Jeepneys painted with fading colors lined up at the corner, drivers yelling destinations. Cubao, Cubao. Isa na lang. Vendors sold pandesal from plastic bags, their voices competing with barking dogs. Students in white and blue uniforms rushed past, their laughter filling the air. This chaos was comforting. It meant life was normal. He squeezed into a jeepney, ducking his head to avoid hitting the low ceiling. At his height, most people had no problem, but Rin had long learned the art of avoiding sharp elbows and heavy bags in Manila's packed rides. "Bayad po," he muttered, passing his 20-peso bill forward. The driver grunted, one hand on the wheel, the other expertly juggling coins. Traffic thickened as they neared EDSA. By 7:30 a.m., Rin was stuck in the familiar gridlock. Heat rose from the concrete, mixing with the smell of gasoline and sweat. He stared out the window. Billboards loomed above the skyline. Street kids weaved between cars, knocking on windows for coins. The MRT line stretched overhead, packed as usual. Life in Metro Manila. Loud, crowded, frustrating, but alive. Rin slipped a pair of earphones on, drowning the noise with an old J-pop playlist. He scrolled through his phone, reading headlines. Strange flu cases rise in Manila hospitals. Unexplained outbreak in QC, authorities dismiss rumors. He frowned. Probably another dengue scare, he thought. Headlines like these popped up every year. He didn't notice the man coughing 2 seats away until the jeepney lurched to a stop. The passenger's cough was harsh, wet, almost painful to listen to. His skin looked pale, sweat dripping down his temples despite the morning heat. Rin looked away. Not his problem. By 8:10 a.m., he finally arrived in Ortigas. Glass towers rose around him, a stark contrast to Caloocan's cramped alleys. Office workers in crisp clothes moved like an army, clutching coffee cups, IDs swaying from their lanyards. Rin joined the crowd, weaving toward his building. His office job wasn't glamorous: data processing, endless spreadsheets, and occasional meetings where he said as little as possible. But it paid enough to help with rent and groceries, and that was all he wanted. Still, he couldn't shake off a strange feeling. As he stepped into the elevator, he glanced at the reflection of his ring. For a split second, he thought he saw it glow faintly. He blinked. Nothing. Just his tired face, pale under fluorescent lights. Work passed in a blur. Emails, Excel sheets, and the dull hum of the air conditioner. His co-workers chatted about the latest teleserie and NBA trades. Rin nodded occasionally, though he mostly kept to himself. At lunch, he sat in the pantry, quietly eating the tapsilog his mother packed. Across the room, two co-workers scrolled through their phones. "Did you hear? Another hospital closed down in Quezon City. Something about an infection. Fake news lang yan. Like the bird flu before." Rin chewed slowly, pretending not to listen. Infection? Strange flu? He looked at his phone again. This time, the news was harder to dismiss. Videos leaked online showed people collapsing in malls, twitching violently before attacking bystanders. The comments section was flooded with arguments, some saying it was staged, others swearing it was real. A chill ran down his spine. He glanced at his ring again. For the first time, he wondered if it was given to him for a reason. By 6 p.m., the office finally let out. The sun dipped low, painting Ortigas in shades of orange and gray. Rin joined the flood of commuters, heading for MRT Shaw Boulevard station. The crowd was thicker than usual. People shoved past each other, muttering curses. Over the loudspeakers, an announcement crackled. Due to an emergency situation in Quezon City, MRT services will be temporarily delayed. "We ask for your patience," the voice cut off. Static filled the speakers. A ripple of unease spread through the crowd. Rin adjusted his bag nervously, clutching the strap tighter. Somewhere nearby, someone screamed, heads turned. A man collapsed near the station entrance, convulsing violently. His jaw snapped open and shut, teeth gnashing as foam dribbled from his mouth. Then he lunged at the nearest person. Chaos erupted. The crowd screamed, scattering in every direction. People shoved, tripped, fell. Bags spilled open, shoes lost. The man sank his teeth into another commuter's arm, blood spraying across the pavement. Rin froze, his mind blank. His heart thundered in his chest, his legs locked in place. He had seen this before. Not in real life, only in movies, in games. Zombies, but this wasn't supposed to be real. The infected man raised his head, blood dripping from his chin. His eyes were milky white. His body twitched unnaturally as he turned, searching for his next victim, and his gaze landed on Rin. For the first time in his life, Rin wished he wasn't alone. He wished he could run home to his family, sit at the dinner table and forget the world outside. But reality had shattered. As the crowd's panic surged around him, Rin felt the ring on his finger pulse, warm, alive, almost urging him to act. He tightened his grip on his bag. The silver ring glowed faintly. The peaceful life he had always wanted was gone, and South Caloocan was waiting,